Testing. All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream. Trump put out a major statement in the Oval Office about the arena killing. The full video now has been released of that. We got a donation coming in.
Gerald Armstrong tipped $5 through Super Chat. Benny Clickbait Johnson was just on for 2 hours with the feed of outside the White House, and then ended the stream abruptly.
Benny Johnson? What was he covering? Covering something, was there a press conference? They talked about the Epstein stuff. Yeah, they're trying to really hit home. They're trying to really hit Trump with that. Do you think we will follow through with Ecuador's request for U.S. troops to fight cartels there? Well, I think if it's deemed a big enough problem, if it's a serious problem area in which cartels are functioning out of and subsequently sending drugs to the United States, they'll take a look at it. I didn't know. I mean, you're telling me this, that Ecuador has requested. That's a change. Normally, we have to fight to get the to get forces to fight the cartels in these other countries. I don't know. Thoughts on the AP poll voter take? Why does she still have the Florida Gators in the top 25 over South Florida? She probably just didn't see the update, or she probably you can't have Florida ahead of South Florida, even though if Florida, you could say it's an upset and it's fluke and Florida's still the better team, but you really can't do that. Yeah, I know there's a Netanyahu strikes on Qatar. Trump was not happy about it, but I don't know. I saw Trump's statement and he was like, well, I support him taking out Hamas leadership, but he doesn't want there to be strikes in Qatar. Why is Reese Davis an Alabama voter? He graduated from Alabama. Did you see the full video of the stabbing? I did. The video, it just keeps getting worse. I mean, you couldn't have a worse video if you made it in a studio. I mean, it was, the girl is in complete shock. You've got like 4 black people around. None of them do anything. And then I think someone starts filming it. There's blood I mean, it is the worst possible. That's why they're not touching it. And then how about CNN and some of the other mainstream media doing the whole charade of, oh, you're racist if you talk about it. They're blowing it up. Really? Because George Floyd wasn't blown up. Because Bubba Wallace, that situation wasn't blown up. And this situation has more racial, not even undertones. The dude gets up with her blood dripping down in a blood trail and says, I killed the white girl. Oh, but no, it's not racial. And then you see Van Jones got caught. He was trying to criticize Charlie Kirk and then didn't realize, because it was an extended version of the video, of this surveillance video, after he got up and went to the front of the bus, he says he killed the girl. The white girl. He says he got her. I mean, it's just horrible. It's as bad as it could get. The more updates, the more we see of it. And we still don't have the Austin Metcalf video. So it's like they're compounding now. We've got a backlog.
The John Sick tipped $5 through Super Chat. We don't hate the mainstream media enough. I think them carrying water will continue to turn more people away. I once believed their narratives too.
Yeah, well, they are being exposed significantly because of how open X is now. Because of Elon Musk's ownership of X, it's opened it up and they're getting exposed, and now they're forced to cowardly report on these stories when it's so obvious they tried to hide them. They tried for 3-4 days. Remember, it came out. They didn't say anything. The video came out. It was initially reported, and the reason this is so big, it's because of the video. That's where it becomes super impactful for people. The fact that there is a video makes this extremely impactful. And now we have the full video, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. I mean, when you watch it, it's just being a guy in his 40s without a wife or kids, you kind of stop caring about the future, not only in the US but the world itself. You're becoming numb. Well, that's disappointing to hear. But I mean, I'm not in that position. I don't know. Did you see Russian drones have gone into Polish airspace? Breaking news. Well, hopefully that doesn't set anything off. Obviously, Poland, NATO country. Thoughts on Ukrainian girls being more safe in Ukraine than in U.S. metros? Right. And that's the other ironic thing of it all. She comes to the United States to flee the war, and then this happens. It's just the entire story. And then, have you guys seen they were having a press conference updating people on this specific murder, and they stopped to have a cake? Like, the story just keeps getting worse. And all of these people, like, and it's like, now it's come out, these judges, they're not even real judges. They promote people in the name of DEI, and it's like the lawyers are more qualified because they passed the bar than the judges. This is all this liberal, just, it just, none of this makes sense in how they're running this society. It's all catered towards diversity, and this is the results. Dude's been arrested 14 times. Did you see the family talk about the death today? Um, I'm gonna take a look at that right now. I'm gonna take a look at some of this right now. There's a lot of reaction. Jason Whitlock. We're turning into South Africa. Well, I think the major cities at this point, the demographics. I mean, that's the real thing. Is there a major city in this country that is not majority minority? That doesn't exist. There's not a major Caucasian city in this country anymore. There's not a single one. Think about how quickly that turned, and the suburbs are still, there's less diversity, but the major cities, there's not a single one. I mean, obviously South Florida's or South Africa is a different story in terms of the makeup there, but I mean the major cities, you're not far off in terms of the what you're saying there. Did you say Mobile, Alabama? I wouldn't classify that as a major city, man. I mean, I guess it depends what you classify as a major city, but all of these stories only serve the Republican cause. Her death won't be in vain. Her name will be a battle cry for salvation. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, to me, I think this is a situation where people, when there's a video, I mean, obviously you should react no matter what, but this makes it like it's a different level of outrage that people will have because there's a video, and they still try and do this game. The liberal media. I mean, again, this is something that would be buried if Kamala Harris had won. This is completely buried. Nobody talks about this, but they're forced to because Trump is talking about it. And when they talk about it, they say, "Oh, they're just talking about it because it involves a black man killing a white woman." Well, have you seen the crime statistics in really any class? We don't need more cops. We need to address inequality first, right? Well, Mondani is still saying that. I mean, that's the crazy thing. After what just happened, the video comes out. He says, "I think it would be good if we let more criminals out." Is there not somebody that can ask him a question of maybe this is not a good thing? I mean, the people that tend to commit these murders have been arrested 10, 15, 20 times before. This is why everyone should own a car, because public transportation is filled with crazies. That's another thing. And I know there was the I think I saw this over here. People who talk about situational awareness, like it's perfectly normal to sit down in a train and spend the entire ride assessing angles and attacks rather than reading a book or checking your messages. Yeah, I mean, this is something that you should do, though, honestly. It's a subconscious thing. But you don't want to victim blame the poor girl from Ukraine. But it is something that you should do. I mean, if you're on if you're on public transportation in a major city, what will it take for Trump to bring up the race of the culprit? I know that's he never says the race. I hear you, but honestly, for what he's doing, you have to at least respect that. I mean, this is pretty crazy from the president. So at least he's making it a big story. The SEC is going to be underwater in a couple of decades. I don't think so. Will Kane had Charlie Kirk on. Yeah, well, remember, Charlie Kirk just commented on it, and Van Jones said, "Oh, it's not racial." Yeah. Did you see what he said after the killing? Did you see what he said after he stabbed her? I guess they didn't see that part because it was an extended, it was extended version of the footage. Did you see Levitt press conference today? Yeah, I saw it. She highlighted it.
The John Sick tipped $5 through Super Chat. Ask AI about crime statistics and watch it bend itself into a pretzel talking about systemic this, over-policing, history etc.
No, I remember getting into a serious argument with AI over something in relation to that, and because I wanted to see it's like a thought experiment. The thing just kept saying regurgitating the same 5 or 6 different talking points over and over again. I would try and give it abstract data, and I was arguing with it to see if it would finally bend the knee, and it didn't do it. It kept regurgitating the same 5 or 6 things. It's interesting. The thing about Russia and Poland is that the other person said might actually be very important. This could potentially invoke Article 5. Yeah, but let's not do that. I mean, we're going to sit here and fearmonger about World War III because, these things happen and then people say scream and then a day later it's like nothing, it doesn't really matter anymore. That's just the experience with a lot of these. Oh, there's been a major strike or there's been a major thing. I don't know if they're in, you said Russian drones in Polish airspace is what it is. I mean, I understand they're a NATO country, so that's a big no-no. But why would they do that? Why would Russia do that at this point? They're not trying to start World War III with NATO. US Gemini, but well, you have to understand when it comes to these language models, they're programmed. They're told what to say, so they have more nuance than something like Google, but they still are fed a certain amount of information. It's not like they can think for themselves. They have to run on a script. Now the script, it depends. They could calibrate the script to contain many different options, but it's still based on I mean, it's a learning model. So they take information and they regurgitate it to you in a way that's more nuanced than Google, basically. Tim Pool has been yelling about World War III for 5. Yeah, they all yell about World War III. It's like it's really a non-starter for me unless something crazy happens. I just like, what am I going to sit here and speculate on World War III? Like, I don't know what to say. We'll see if it ends up being something ends up happening. It's like Chud Jack. It's probably nothing. Uh, yeah, this was crazy. They released the full video. He stabs her like 3 or 4 times. She's in shock. She's in complete shock. And then I think she covers her wound and then collapses. I mean, it's such a terrible video.
in shoplifting. Brown had previously served 5 years in prison for a robbery with a deadly weapon charge, and he had also forfeited bonds 3 different times, twice in 2014 and once in 2023. Despite all of this past documented criminal history, when Brown was arrested yet again in January of this past year, a Democrat judge, who I will add was a strong supporter of former Vice President Kamala Harris, released this insane criminal once again without requiring him to pay any bail. He simply had to sign a written promise to return for his court hearing. Think about how crazy it is to ask a career criminal, someone who by definition repeatedly breaks the law, to just sign a written promise and come back again another day. This is madness. This monster should have been locked up. An arena should still be alive.
You can say what you want about Trump and the Israel stuff, but this would not be happening if Kamala Harris won. There's no way we get any narrative like this from the White House, and now they're forced to cover it. They're forced to cover it. And for Trump, it is, in a way, a vindication in terms of just this insane crime and the soft on crime. But like how do liberals think society is gonna? There's just no way their society can function properly because of their views on this type of stuff and the DEI stuff. It just doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work. It's not gonna create a society where it's just you're rewarding criminals. You're rewarding criminals. And then you've got Mondani, who's like their top young guy, saying we're going to let all of the criminals out of jail now. After this just happened, okay. Find it funny how the UK is vowing to defend Taiwan when they're getting invaded by Jeets and Mohammeds. They really, I mean, I don't know, man. It seems like they are starting to change their immigration policy, the UK is. It's like they can only handle so much because they're a much smaller population than the United States. It's like a Canada situation. You get some immigration, it's going to change the entire. I mean, I've heard London is just horrible now, but I don't know. I've never visited it, but I've heard it's just the amount of immigration they've gotten. And you're right, they get a lot of Islamic immigration because of where they're located versus us. We get a lot of Latin American. No liberals want criminals running around victimizing people. It's not really a fair assumption. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that they say it. Oh, we want minorities to go beat everyone up. I'm saying their policies lead to this result. When you have soft on crime policies, specifically in big cities, specifically sympathizing with minorities because they say they disproportionately make up who's in jail, the population of jails. I'm not literally saying that's what they want. I'm saying their policies and their white guilt leads to this. Talk about the liberal professor at Texas A&M and that issue. Just Google and read about it. I have seen the issue. I saw there was a video about it. I haven't seen it. I'll take a look at it tonight. Yeah, I don't know what Trump is live about right now, but I mean, I'll get updates on it. Don't worry. Go look at Brian Krasenstein's post. Absolute madness. Yeah, defending probably defending liberals and defending the criminals. Yeah, they're gonna have to cut interest rates. They're gonna have to do a big cut. Their entire thesis for not cutting the rates is like, oh, the jobs reports have been great. The jobs reports have all been a lie for the last 2.5, 3 years. If you look at the recent stuff that's come out, they overestimated the jobs by 50%, literally 50%. No one's ever seen that. 911K fake jobs. So they're saying we don't need to cut because we have good job growth. Well, Yeah, I think the country is getting more. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. You know, I see some generic polls and the Democrats are winning. To me, I think the country is getting more conservative. It seems like the West in general is getting more conservative. You just have to stay the course. Just calm down. It's forced to move to the right because of the amount of rapid immigration. There's going to be a pushback at some point against it, and then people realize it's like, look at California. Why is California so much more liberal than it was in 1980? Did the Democrats do something? Well, no, a fucking ton of immigrants went to California, so it became more liberal. That's the reason. He said, "Stop fucking sharing the video." Yeah, well, obviously it's a terrible, terrible look for them, and that's the thing is, again, the reason that the video makes it to where there's going to be this reaction from people, and it's a different level. Obviously, there should be the reaction anyways if we just read about it, but it is a different, with the visual effect of it, people are going to be up in arms, obviously, completely outraged. Have you seen that they released the supposed Trump birthday letter to Epstein? Is it real? Yeah, it's look, this is complete it's complete bullshit. You're telling me there's a smoking gun on Trump being a pedo, but they magically kept it a secret throughout all three of Trump's election cycles, presidential campaign cycles. Wow, they must be so fucking incompetent. So you have a disqualifying piece of paper on Trump that insinuates that he's a pedo, but they couldn't find it. It was in the Epstein estate. We couldn't find it. I just like, it just doesn't add up. Trump could be heading to dinner out in Washington D.C. Oh, so Trump's out at he said he was going to go to dinner apparently, I guess. A few days ago, I remember that. Missouri, so that's another seat. So they added another seat in Missouri. They got it gerrymandered down to one Democratic district now. Well, it's just I don't understand these Democrats. It's like you had control for 4 years and you weren't able to find any of this shit, and now suddenly Trump's in office and it's coming out. I don't understand. Why would the top Democrat leaders want the Epstein stuff to be completely silent if there's this smoking gun on Trump that would basically disqualify him from any presidential campaign? Today is weird as fuck. There's a lot of unconfirmed info right now. Trump's at a restaurant. Well, yeah, I guess there's the Poland thing. Polish airspace is now clear of drones, but at least 5 were down in the east of the country near a major airport sending equipment to Ukraine. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to. I mean, obviously they should stay out of their airspace. I don't know why they would be in their airspace. They don't want to have anything to do with Article 5 Russia. Come on, that would be very bad for them. I mean, it would be very bad for the world. I'm not trying to flex NATO or anything like that because that it's just nobody's gonna win in that. We want everything to be more peaceful. Obviously, the geopolitical situation is very important for the markets. Oh, you're going back to World War II? That is true. A lot of people don't know that. They were partners. Germany invaded the West first, and then the Soviet Union invaded the East of Poland. Poland was completely screwed. But that was never going to last, that partnership. Fox News YouTube channel has been flooded with AI generated comment bots. It's bad and don't look at it. Their profiles might get the stream taken down. Yeah, no, I know. It's all like the sex bots. That happens a lot on channels. You think YouTube would try and do something about it? No, but guys, don't worry. YouTube's newest feature is hype points. Have you seen that? It's so stupid. Like, oh yeah, hype points. It's just hype points are literally just the like button. That's it. They're just another like button. So you're gonna clog the interface. I would 1000% rather YouTube focus its energy on getting rid of bot comments than worrying about adding a function like hype points. It just clogs up the entire thing. It's just like, what does this even mean? I have 500 hype points. It's completely useless. iPhone 17. I actually haven't seen what that looks like. They announced it. Yeah, they always announce it in September. Wow, they got like it looks like a little pad there. iPhone 17 Pro is the ugliest iPhone ever. Yeah, I'd have to get the dark blue. I'd have to get the dark blue variant. Or the space gray. I wouldn't get the orange. Trump is now at a seafood restaurant. Random. Very random. iPhone 17 Pro Plus is the most powerful iPhone in existence. Well, then every time the newest iPhone comes out, they say it's the most powerful phone in existence, I'm sure. You see YouTube got community noted on X. YouTube, the actual, the account, the official YouTube account on X got community noted. Orange to tribute to Trump. Trump's got to get the orange. It looks... I'm surprised. Who would get orange? Dude, honestly, I could tell you right now. Actually, I don't know, because maybe people would get space gray, but I feel like 60% of the sales go here, then 30%, then 10, maybe like 60%, 35%, 5%. Nobody's getting orange. It's such an obnoxious color for a phone. It's like the iPhone 5C. I don't know, do people get orange for the phone? Orange is kind of tough. Dude, you got to have a certain personality. You got to have like a really obnoxious, outgoing personality, I feel like, to get a color like a flamboyant color like that. Like, you got to have a look at me person. Honestly, it doesn't even matter. My phone case just covers the color up anyways, but pharmaceutical ads may be gone soon. I know they're trying to get rid of them. That would be a great accomplishment. Could you imagine them trying to spin that? They're gonna try and spin that and make it bad. Oh, we actually need pharmaceutical ads. Hot pink for me. You know, I think they had like a purple for the iPhone 5C. You remember the purple? They had purple. They had yellow. Oh, the yellow color for a plastic phone. The iPhone 5C was plastic. This phone is $1,500. Wait, how much does it cost? I don't even know how much the iPhones cost, because when I upgrade, it doesn't cost anything. When you upgrade the phone with your plan. You are underplaying the Poland situation. It's a legit 10 of 10 emergency. The Pentagon pizza meter has spiked 400%, and Trump was quickly motorcaded off. I just got word he's at a seafood restaurant. Is this a serious thing?
Breaking news that the Reuters news agency is quoting. They are quoting the Ukrainian Air Force in a Telegram messaging app, suggesting that Ukraine's Air Force is warning that Russian drones have entered the airspace of Poland, threatening the city of Zamosk. Drones in Poland, the message said, heading west towards the city of Zamosk. The suggestion is that this is Iran's Iranian-made drones, some suggesting Actually, this is unconfirmed, that 5 Girans were 20 kilometres deep into Polish airspace, heading for the city of Zamosk. That is reported on social media. Reuters, though, just quoting Ukrainian Air Force, suggesting that Russian drones, are in Poland, heading west towards the city of Zamosk. Zamosk itself is northwest of the Ukrainian city of Lviv, on the way to Warsaw. We will keep an eye.
Yeah, I don't think anything is going to come of that. It's always September. You're right. It's always September with Poland. September's a tough month for Poland. September's a tough month. It's a tough month in 1939. Possibly a tough month now. Now, I don't think that's going to result in anything. Hopefully not.
Well, the president just leaving short gaggle with reporters, and he decided, look, I'm going to see for myself. Washington, D.C., hitting the streets.
Yeah, well, he wanted to go to a restaurant. They were kind of guilt-tripping Trump. They're like, you've never been to a restaurant. He's like, all right, I'll go then. Did you see Rand Paul beefing with Vance and Trump on the drug boat, Department of War? Yeah, he likes trying to ankle bite. He counter signals constantly, Rand Paul. So it doesn't surprise me. But I don't know. I mean, Rand Paul he doesn't have the clearance to really understand the briefing, and you know, they obviously knew what was on the boat, and so, I don't know, they knew they were criminals on the boat. Look, there's a lot of things the U.S. Department of War does. I guess it is the Department of War now. It does make sense to be called the Department of War. It's more practical. But there's a lot of things they do that might not be the most politically correct, and sometimes it has to happen. Apparently 4 drones were also taken down in Belarus. The Russians probably miscalculated big time. Also, Poland closed the border. Yeah. Seems like a Russian miscalculation, you're right. You think Tennessee can beat Georgia? I think it's possible. Did you see the iPhone 17 Pro Max? They just moved the lens to the right. I saw the 17. I don't know if it was the Max. Dude, like, what is this? You know, this is really what they should do. The iPhone 17, that's the standard edition. The iPhone 17 Pro, that's the bigger edition. And that's all they need. Now they have the Pro Max, so it's like double. Because the Pro already signals it's an upgraded version. But then what's the Pro Max? But then what's the Pro Max Plus? Now they've got the Pro Max. I'm kidding. Imagine if they added another one, the Pro Max Plus. It's a triple. It's a quadruple. Pentagon Pizza Index, DEFCON 2, but that thing goes up, and it seems to be fear mongering. I see that thing go up a lot, so I see it. I mean, I don't know what to tell people. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with this. This has got. They're not going to go to the Article 5 over something about drones that are out of the airspace now.
Sam tipped $5 through Super Chat. I love you.
That's so nice. That's so nice. Such a nice donation. What's Trump's big statement? Trump made a big statement on the Ukrainian refugee killing. And, I mean, this is a heavy thing, and they're really highlighting it, and it's important. Swolchad, Doge, great low cap, 330K, come on. We don't need another Doge variant. What is it on Ethereum? The Pentagon Pizza Index is bullshit. There's a video about it. Whenever people are speculating about World War III or major conflicts, it spikes 100%. It doesn't. Why would that confirm anything? And why would that really go up right now? Like, they entered Polish airspace for 5 minutes, apparently. I mean, obviously it's not ideal, but let's pump the brakes on it causing World War III. Can you tell that guy to chill the fuck out? How about the Euros take care of their own migration problem? Not a single shot fired in London and London is conquered, and yet they want to defend each other. No, I think it is insane how those European countries act in terms of NATO as a galvanized unit, and then they allow their countries to, face the rampant immigration. They allow their citizens to face the rampant immigration. It's like ass backwards. They're like so obsessed now, ever since Russia invaded Ukraine, with this rearmament. And I guess maybe they are starting to change the policies a little bit. It takes time with the immigration, but it kind of seems insane that this immigration is allowed, and these just doesn't really make sense. You guys like the stream? Go ahead, like the stream. I gotta remember to tell people to like the stream. That's the only way I'm gonna get more views.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time, no, that's not my language.
Dude, it's, I think I had more traffic, and it goes out when I have more traffic. We just wait for everyone. Should be back. Yeah, I don't know. That is annoying. I've had like 10 straight streams where there's been no problems, and there's a problem. Like, your request got you 75. Wow, I got me requesting that got me 75 likes. I don't believe that. You're not a Bronco fan, but a Colorado native. You're happy the stadium is staying downtown. Big win for Colorado. Was fearing it'd be yeah. Normally that is a bigger. Normally the stadium sagas are just a nightmare. They demand public money. The location changes. They throw them in a suburb. They throw them in a different area and try and build an entire district. They're definitely going to build a district around this based on the land that they have. But yeah, that seems like it's rather easy. Seems like it's rather it's almost a painless situation there.
That I'm proud to be an
So those are the two American flags. The one back there, the one there. Trump says he's negotiating with India and Modi in the coming weeks. Speaking of the Broncos, Bo Nix looked like crap. Yeah, Bo Nix really, he's very inconsistent. His rookie year, he was inconsistent. He looked really bad in week one. His like average per attempt is always ridiculously low. Like he barely gets any yards. Thoughts on Kirk? I don't know. I mean, I know he made a comment. He said it was a race-based killing, and then Van Jones got angry, and then it turned out Kirk was right. Is there any update on the Venezuelan government yet? Well, I think there's a bounty out on their leader. In terms of crime reduction, how should prisons ensure that people who come out don't repeat offend? Well, I mean, this is the big issue. If you have some dude, like it's hard to have a real talk on this, honestly, but if you have somebody that's been arrested 14 to 16 times, I mean, I guess it depends their crime, but Trump is trying to get India to leave BRICS. The BRICS fall down. Trump has killed the bricks wall. It's like a little dinghy. I think they got it. Oh man, that comment. Oh man. Thoughts on the idea of having a limited amount of crimes you can commit and actually be released from jail, IDK, if that were? Well, I think what would have to happen is we would have to take all of the repeat offenders. You would have to have all of the data in front of you, find the similarities in terms of the repeat offenders that go on to commit violent crimes, and factor all of that into the process of people that get let back out and stuff like that, and try and find a but I mean, the thing is it's just all of these major cities have significant crime problems, so you'd be dealing with I feel like a big population of people. Black on white crime getting worse, or do we just know about it more? Well, not obviously with X we know more about it, but with crime normally, and they've really taken their time, let's just say, to update crime statistics specifically based on demographics. I haven't really seen any 2024 crime statistics. I think the most recent year is 2023, the ones that they always show. But even that, I remember, they would only show like 2018, 2019 crime statistics. How did the Minnesota Vikings keep winning? Yeah, that was crazy. What a choke job. What a major choke job by the Bears. Poverty is a much better predictor of crime than race. Not violent crime though. Maybe simple misdemeanors. Cities were safer until 2000s because of mass arrest and mass incarceration. Yeah, I agree, but how do you get that? And that's the thing with Trump. Say what you want about Trump and all the Israel stuff. There's something that came out where Trump's not too happy with what Israel did, and we'll see. But what he's doing in terms of sending in the National Guard, this is really the only way you can promote law and order in these liberal cities. Because there's no way a Republican is going to win an election in New York City. I mean, look at a socialist who's winning now, but New York City, Chicago, it's not going to happen. Sending the National Guard to stand on the streets will scare criminals inside until they leave. When they leave, business as usual. So maybe they should get better police presence on the streets of high crime areas. Isn't that what Republicans have been telling liberals this entire time? They need, and the liberal argument is that it doesn't work. They say it doesn't work. They say more police presence does not work. More National Guard presence does not work. I'd love to see the numbers in the next month because they've extended the time that the National Guard's going to be in D.C. I'd love to see the numbers on homicides, carjackings, general theft from before the National Guard was brought into D.C. versus after, and get the numbers over the course of 2 or 3 months of the National Guard being in D.C. and see how the difference. Democrats will lose their base to socialism. I don't know. I mean, the younger Democrats are more socialist, yeah, but I don't know if the Democratic Party would turn socialist. I mean, even some of the socialists have capitalist tendencies within their, like Bernie Sanders. You look at him. I mean, he's rich. He doesn't really stand by his movement. Doesn't he have a book and I mean, a lot of them have capitalist tendencies, anyways. Maybe the young, stupid 20-year-olds that have no money, they're socialist until they get money. National Guard in DC is not everywhere, it's only in certain areas. Well, yeah, I mean, DC in and of itself, there's not going to be a ton of crime in the white collar areas. Roy Cooper has said nothing and is going to be bad. It's going to be bad for his campaign in 2026. You live in Charlotte, people are fed up. I had heard Roy Cooper made no statement. John Mateer is your pick for Heisman. I don't see it. I think they're going to lose too many games for him to win the Heisman. If they lose 3 games, he's not winning the Heisman. And also, it's not like he has even that great of stats or that great of a receiving core. If anything, I would say Dante Moore right now is the favorite to win the Heisman from Oregon. How's the progress on the new car? I haven't really started it, honestly. Well, I have started it because I've been looking. But the issue is I just don't have... I have the money, but... It's not really top of mind right now. Maybe I'll show my car in a video and you guys can see. I mean, I have to get a new car. I mean, my car doesn't have that many miles, but I've had it for like 7 years. What do you think about agenda-free TV on YouTube? I've never heard of it. Agenda-free TV, I never heard of that. President Trump asks European Union to tariff India, China at 100%. All right, so this is a pretty big thing. If that's... I mean, obviously Trump can ask. It's not going to happen, but... Rand Paul dropping new evidence against Fauci. Wow, Rand Paul is not ankle-biting Trump, at least tomorrow. No, I wouldn't get it. Agenda-free TV is liberal AF. Yeah, well, I probably don't like it then. I don't know. Thank you for the donation. National Guard in DC picking up trash was pretty bad luck. Yeah, no, I saw that. Look, whether they're picking up trash or whatever you want to say, the point is that the homicides go way down, the general crime goes way down, and you can use it as propaganda, and I mean, it helps the city. I mean, there's going to be less death, and it's good. There's less thievery. Have you ever done a video on the bomb found on 9/11 in Cleveland Hopkins? No, I don't think so. Really? That's my airport. They're gonna, they're gonna renovation on that airport. They're adding terminals to it, maybe by 2035 or something. There's gonna be so much construction. They're building a new stadium right next to it. It's gonna be a complete mess. Complete mess. It's actually gonna be bad, honestly. The fact that they're moving the stadium basically out of the city. They're gonna try and annex the territory and add it to Cleveland, I think. So technically, it's still in Cleveland, but it's really not. It's like 15 minutes south. South Carolina will cover the 5.5 this weekend. Easy night game. Well, it's actually 4.5. I think people have been betting on Vandy. No, I mean, we'll see. South Carolina, maybe they're going to turn it around. I know there's a lot of people betting on Vandy, so maybe they will turn it around. With the National Guard stuff, no National Guard has been shot. No National Guard has been shot by a protester. If it happens, things could get bad. Well, I don't see any protests that would see. It doesn't seem like the protests are hostile enough to even come close to that. I mean, it would have to be a civilian doing it, or I mean, so hopefully nothing like that happens. Troops going around stopping crime is good, but it's not a long-term solution. Well, the long-term solution has to come from the local leadership, which is very liberal. The long-term solution has to be more police presence, obviously not National Guardsmen. You can have the National Guardsmen there for years, but there has to be more police presence instead of the National Guard. And that can be a first step to at least immediately stopping the crime, and then focus on long-term solutions. But the immediate stop has to be more of a police presence, and they deny it. They say that doesn't help. Did we cover the job report correction on payroll? And yeah, I talked about it in a video earlier today. It's a brutal correction. And Trump fired the commission, the head of it. I mean, of course, it's been horribly done. I don't know how it's that off. I understand it's just a rough estimate. Like, they get the initial jobs report, it's a rough estimate. But how is it that I mean, it's like not even close to being accurate. So it tells a complete inaccurate picture of the monetary, and then it affects the monetary policy and the way in which the Fed, cuts or raises rates or keeps them the same. Democrats try to convince you fewer police and more criminals on the street is the best approach. Well, think about 2020. They said that all the police were racist and there should be less police. Like how dumb is that? That's like disqualifying. And then they won the election that fall. Thoughts on the Israeli strike in Qatar? I believe it was against, they're framing it against Hamas. I guess there's some Hamas presence in Qatar, and so it doesn't seem like Trump was happy about it. But it also seemed like Trump in his statement kind of approved of it. From the statement that I saw on Trump, seemed like Trump said this is not something I wanted to have happen because of our relationship with Qatar, but he also wants Hamas to be eliminated. It was like a double speak. The reason jobs reports are inaccurate is because I've read that answer as well, 100%. But the issue is, you can say they're going to be at least a little inaccurate, and you just want an early estimate. The problem is the estimate is so inaccurate, it's significantly affecting the monetary policy in the opposite direction. So they think we have at least a gauge on where the jobs are, but obviously, I mean, if we would have known this in February or March, they're saying it's very likely the Fed already would have had multiple cuts by now. So the problem is not that it's inaccurate slightly, because they'll say, well, because some of the employers don't count fast enough, or they don't give us the data fast enough, so it's going to be inaccurate. The problem is it's so overly inaccurate that it's affecting the potential monetary policy, and it has been for the past 5 months. And then it's too inaccurate. It's like it's almost better if there's no report. Please look at what's happening in Nepal. I saw a clip on Nepal of maybe some citizens going up to rip down a communist flag, I believe is what I saw. I don't know what's going on there. People who commit armed robbery should be hung from a rope. Yeah, Matt Walsh has been making statements. Russian drones over Poland. Jets are scrambled. No, I hear you. The people have been telling me about that. We'll see what happens. I don't, you don't want to. I mean, I'll take a look at it again, but it's the nothing ever happens. U.S. F-35 is airborne on its way to eastern Poland. America getting involved. Okay, really, buddy? Matt Walsh went off. Yeah, he's been getting more like, I mean, it seems like he's been trying to be more edgy, at least recently. It's because the way conservatives are going right now. So he's trying to keep up with it. And you got Euros here in the chat panicking. Again, worry about migration problem instead of Russia. Well, I don't know about this, but it seems like there's no way. Maybe it's a miscalculation by the Russians. I don't know why they would. I don't know why they would head into Polish airspace without knowing there's going to be some type of reaction and it's going to make news. Maybe they thought they had some type of stealth, or they'd be stealth about it. They'd be undetected. I'm not sure. Nepal government banned a ton of shit over social media like X, YouTube, etc. Gen Z over there losing their shit. That's what triggered the protests. Yeah, that's insane. That's like some China shit. You remember when Ukraine did a false flag operation sending a missile into Poland? Yeah, I do remember that. That was like 2 years ago. And people immediately blamed Russia. How do you like your steak cooked? Medium well. You have a car for me to buy, only $200. I'm surprised you didn't want my cat in exchange for the car. They had a communist government. Makes sense if you know something about, if you know a thing or two about Nepal, it makes sense they have a communist government. Thoughts on the Epstein birthday book, excluding Trump? It has 50 pages of Epstein's perverted friends cards. They knew what he was up to. Yeah, I mean, it's all code. It's all pedo code. No, I think it's really bad. I saw some of the pages and people on conspiracy sites trying to decode what it meant, and it's all their code. It's if Trump can't end cashless bail in Chicago, you don't see how the National Guard would do anything if they just can't keep him in jail. No, the National Guard for sure would do something, but again, it's more of a immediate solve. It's still a long-term problem. You're going to solve it for a few weeks, but when the National Guard leaves, there has to be I mean, the hope is that maybe if they if the citizens, the law-abiding citizens, feel it's more safe, they will then demand the local government to have more police presence when the National Guard leaves. I think that might be the hope. Because really, what can Republicans do in these liberal cities? They're never going to vote for a conservative no matter how bad they get. What's your thoughts on the Matt Walsh clip? Well, I think he's trying to, he's getting more edgy, and it's a continued thing. So, I mean, I guess, I don't know, when it comes to that type of reform, it's like, I'm just shocked at the demographic makeup of every major city, honestly. That's what I'm shocked, especially the last 30 years. You'll notice a stark difference. Isn't Nepal extremely poor? All of their income basically runs Mount Everest. Yeah, if you see, Nepal is notorious. Yeah, they are a poor country, and Zoran will definitely ban them in NYC. Check Cuban reply to Eric. Mark Cuban? Mark Cuban got embarrassed. I said I wanted to fix healthcare in the US. That's where I'm spending my money. Dude, honestly, the thing with this clip is I don't really get why Cuban. Again, I said this last night. People were like, "Well, Tucker destroyed Cuban. Why didn't Cuban just say, I've given a ton of money. You know how many taxes I pay? I mean, obviously, we've given them, what, $190 billion? I've given them, I mean, that's part of my taxes. I'm a billionaire. I pay a ton in taxes. So by default, I'm giving a ton of money to Ukraine via taxes. Am I not? I don't know why he didn't just say that. It's like it's such an easy answer. And he made it like he lost. I mean, he's talking about the healthcare. Yeah, he's got his own healthcare company that's got competitive drug prices, things like that. I think there's a problem with healthcare for sure. Everyone admits there's a major problem. Especially if you're self-employed, there's a big problem with healthcare. But I mean, listen, the thing with the US is we've got great healthcare, but it costs so much fucking money. You don't pay for the roads, but you can drive on them anyway. Yeah, you pay for the roads through taxes, local taxes. You see the clip of Tucker talking 9/11 with Piers Morgan? No, I didn't. I saw there was a clip about him saying something about 9/11, but I didn't see the clip in terms of it actually watching it. Yeah, no, I mean, this seems like a good thing what Cuban is doing with healthcare. I don't think we should really politicize Cuban and say, well, everything he does is. I mean, it seems like I've seen his drug company. They are competitive prices to try and get, and you'd think he'd support the no pharmaceutical ads as well that Trump is pushing. But this is like Cuban's big thing to become an actual viable candidate in 2028. I'm gonna fix healthcare because I'm rich and I can lower the costs by having by being able to spend money at lower costs. We have that. It's called the ER. No, the ER costs a fuck ton of money. Unless you have insurance. Or unless you have healthcare. Wish you could have turned into your streams. You had the craziest last few days. That's fine, man. That's fine. I was streaming on. I took 3 days off from streams just because it was the weekend and stuff, and I had stuff. Healthcare is fake. Health insurance is a thing. Medical care is a thing. Well, it's just a different verbiage. I don't think it's that. Why do bicycles think they have the right on you? Yeah, the bicycle problem is a big issue, 100%. The bicycle problem, luckily I'm not driving as much, but you go into the metro parks in my area, you deal with these bikes, and it's a situation to where, it's curvy. The metro parks is curvy. You can't pass these bicycles. These bicyclists. You pass them, you say a prayer because you don't know if there's a car coming around. They take up enough to where when you pass them, you've got to go into the other lane. The speed limit is 35 miles per hour. This is not like a 25 mile per hour. So when you're passing, the cars coming at you are going very fast. If the road's curvy, you can't tell if there's cars coming at you. You ever been in one of those situations? Oh. Say a prayer and try and pass them, or just you're gonna have to be behind them for like a few minutes or like 20 minutes. You could even argue that Trump banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago to avoid any suspicions because he did that before Epstein's legal trouble started. Yeah, and then also, why did Trump bring Epstein into the ether, into the political realm in 2015 or 2016 unprovoked when Trump was in the Republican primaries and said that Bill Clinton's going to have a problem with Epstein? But no. Trump has all of it, like this stuff. And then even the signature. I saw people, they're like, oh, it's definitely his signature. Am I missing something? Why is his signature cut off then? His signature is very clear. It's in big letters. It's Donald Trump. There's the Donald, but then there's no Trump. I mean, am I missing something? Is that how he used to sign things without the last name? So I don't know. You plan on any 9/11 videos tomorrow? Yeah, I got a video on something that I don't know if I want to do it. It's on the art students. But I mean, I don't think it would be a problem. I'm pretty fair on those videos. But I've done some. That's like the only topic I could think of, man. I've kind of done a lot of videos like that, so. Would being arrested by National Guard give them federal charges? If they were sent to Chicago jails, they get cashless bail. Yeah, but in general, it's just going to be less crime if there's more presence on the streets. They're not going to be committing the crime to be arrested. That's what we see in DC. Hopefully we'll get the numbers. I mean, I know there were early numbers that were very good out of DC on eliminating a lot of the crime.
Thank you. Thank you. The restaurants now are booming. People are going out to dinner where they didn't go out for years, and it's a safe city. And I just want to thank the National Guard. We loved working with the mayor and the chief, and we all work together, and the outcome is really spectacular. We have a capital that's very, very.
And so they've got Rubio, Hegseth, and Vance there. You got an idea for a 9/11 video? Well, what's the idea? Did you see the Chicago guy claiming they'd wipe out the National Guard? Yeah, it's a joke. It's an ignorant dude who doesn't know. Obviously, it's like he wants to feel special. Like, oh, we're gonna, obviously it's ridiculous.
House Republicans continue to work through regular order to fund the government for FY26, for the next fiscal year.
I can't hear it. So there's negotiations with India. But, I mean, what do you do about this situation? I mean, you're going to negotiate now with them? He wanted to put the tariffs on to try and force India to stop. I mean, maybe we could negotiate with them and lower our tariffs if they would stop buying the Russian energy. Go outside of the Twin Towers? Oh, outside of the Twin Towers? What do you mean outside of the Twin Towers? Was Trump really an FBI informant on Epstein? Yeah, I've heard that. I heard that a while. Oh, I got a pimp. I get this. I got a really bad pimple. I got a pimple on my shoulder. You know, it's at the point to where you can't pop it yet. It's at the point to where you can't pop it yet, but it's close. I might have to poke at it. Ooh. When are we? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's the same dude. You need to cleanse. Yeah, I don't know. Only recorded homicide outside of the attack. Yeah, that's an interesting video idea. Hold on. Oh, dude.
Questions. I want to add one thing that I hope the family won't mind me sharing. But after Irina's death, the embassy in Ukraine called and said, "We'll help you bring her home." And her family said no. They said she loved America. We're going to bury her here. So I think we can give her an America to be proud of. As Mr. Barnacle said, something here is broken, and we're here to fix it. We're happy to take your question.
Yeah, but she's already dead. Look, now I know what he's saying, but come on. You have a pimple on your spine? Oh, I had a pimple on my spine once. No, I got nothing. I don't get too many pimples, but I have gotten a pimple on my spine before. It's real bad. On the shoulder, you can kind of coax it out easier, and then the spine, it tends to be tougher. Inner nostril pimple, one of the most painful things you've had, and you've dislocated your shoulder 15 times. Man, inside of your nostril, how does that even happen? Yeah, that's insane. Would you still love America? Uh, what did you put that dude in timeout? I mean, it's all right, honestly. I don't mind the trolling like that. You've had one in your, yeah. I've got a pimple in my ear. Remember that? Now I've maybe had a pimple in my ear once, but it was not in my ear canal. Oof. Yeah, I popped this, so it's a little bit better now. Trying to massage it. Yeah, it's better. I can still feel the bump. It's like half popped and is still in. I don't know. She hates America more than, yeah. Of course, she's not gonna like America. Look at what happened. I mean, that seems like a ridiculous thing to say. Who would Mark Cuban's running mate be for 2028? Rachel Maddow. We wouldn't be able to decide them apart. That's not realistic. They'd be twins. They'd be twins. No, it'd be some woman. It'd be like a freaking poor minority female. Because Cuban's rich, so you have to counter it with someone. Your face breaks out when you eat a bunch of greasy fast food. That's a real thing. I mean, that is a real thing. You will get a higher number of pimples you eat bad like that. He was talking about licking my body. Yeah, it's one of the like a sexual troll. It'd be Cuban AOC. I don't know if it'd be AOC. I think you'd want someone a little bit low key than AOC. AOC's obnoxious, like further left. I mean, you'd want a democratic, younger woman, but I don't know about AOC. Could you get it on your balls? A pimple? I don't think that's not possible. That's not possible. Based on the skin of it, you're not gonna get a pimple there. Unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and a close ally of the United States that is working very hard and bravely taking risks with us to broker peace, does not advance America or Israel or America's goals. America, Israel's goals. No. Jerusalem, USA. Trump has immediately directed Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to inform the Qataris of the immediate impending attack, which he did, however, unfortunately too late to stop the attack. He views Qatar as a strong ally and a friend of the United States and feels very badly about the location of the attack. Talks about the hostages. Spoke with Netanyahu after the attack. Netanyahu says he wants to make peace. Trump believes this unfortunate incident could serve as an opportunity for peace. Long ass statement. This is pretty typical from Trump. These type of statements on Truth Social. Thoughts on the controversial decision, Mr. Olympia? I don't know about Mr. Olympia. I've seen some of them, but Netanyahu saying Trump is his bitch. No, Trump's been stern against Netanyahu. Yeah, just put it in the... Honestly, just put this in an AI thing and say summarize it in one sentence.
I see on the show this morning you have Governor Healy talking about ICE doing enforcement operations at a church. False. Didn't happen.
They were parked there. They did not do an operation there. She said they were parked in a public space legally.
But to say that and to push that out there puts fear in the immigrant community. So let me tell you what's happening.
That puts fear in the community. Right. To park the ICE agent's vehicle
they're on a
near
public
a church.
Street.
They're
on a public street.
She said
they're on a public street
sir.
waiting to respond to a criminal alien release pulled aside the road. Let me tell you, in the last couple of days, what's happened in Boston. They've arrested Victor Gomez Perez, a 33-year-old criminal alien from Guatemala, with charges of aggravated rape, assault and battery with dangerous weapon, indecent assault and battery on a victim 14 years or younger. They arrested Kaylee Espinosa, a 33-year-old criminal alien from Colombia, with charges of aggravated assault on a pregnant victim. They arrested Joshua Gonzalez, a 24-year-old criminal alien from Dominican Republic, with charges for trafficking heroin, morphine, opium, resisting police, disorderly conduct, and drug distribution. They also arrested Samuel Armando Barrero, a 20-year-old criminal illegal alien from Guatemala, pending charges for assault and battery on a child. So Mayor Wu and Governor Healy, they ought to be calling ICE and thanking them for making their streets safer, for protecting their communities.
This is what I don't understand. What is the liberal argument against ICE? The United States has more illegal immigrants than any other country in the world. Trump just won. You have Republicans bitching that Trump is not deporting enough. So evidently ICE is actually inefficient in terms of deporting people. I don't know what they're mad about. Like, we have more illegal immigrants than any other country. So you want to just keep them here? Despite it being true that Trump did sketch buildings and landscapes, there's no recorded evidence of him ever drawing people or even human forms. Yeah, I've heard that, and they're really scraping, and it's I was looking at some liberal stuff, and of course there's no talk about the killing or anything like that. It's all Epstein. That's all they're talking about is the Epstein stuff. None of them seem to put two and two together and think, well, maybe if we controlled the executive branch, we probably should have put something out so Trump would lose the election. Liberal argument against ICE is the cruelty of what ICE does is more excessive than the punishment of what the immigrants are. But there's no... What do you mean the cruelty that ICE has done by deporting people that are here illegally? I mean, you either believe in a border in a country or you don't. But again, this is more so they want as many immigrants as possible because they're not replacing their own. Republicans have a replacement level birth rate still. The liberals are significantly lower. They're like 1.1. Republicans are like 2.4. So they want. This is the liberal argument. They want as many immigrants in the country as possible. Bottom line. They need it for an electoral advantage. And they get angry when immigrants get deported or the immigration slows down. And a lot of capitalist Republicans like immigration as well. That's why they say they love legal immigration. It's cheaper labor. Immigration is a capitalist. If you love immigration, you love capitalism. That's why I don't understand. Like, how are you socialist and you love immigration? Doesn't make sense. You're not protecting your own workers. Well, I guess they believe in globalism. They don't believe in an actual border. You're a ginger too. I think you're lying to me. You're lying. You would have told me that earlier.
Taking these people off the street. They've turned a blind eye to this. They're sanctuary cities. Sanctuaries, cities and sanctuary states are sanctuaries for criminals. Give ICE access to the jail to arrest a bad guy in the jail rather than have to go in the community to find them. Because when you go in the community and find them, it puts ICE officers at greater risk. It puts the community at greater risk. It puts the alien at greater risk because anything can happen on a street arrest. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to prioritize public safety threats. But when you got governors and mayors who are releasing these public safety threats every day into the community, that causes the crime rate, and we've seen some terrible incidents in the last few days where innocent victims are murdered. This past year, I've seen innocent Americans raped and murdered by people who are not supposed to be here. So rather than going back and forth and say, well, ICE has got a car parked near a church, that is ridiculous. You're out there looking for people like this, exactly what they're doing.
Well, I would argue that actually that the ICE vehicle parked outside a Spanish mass is a frightening sight, given what has happened in this country. I also, with respect, sir, thank you for the information that you have shared on this show, but we would appreciate all of the information. All of it. All of the data that you say you have.
I've done this show several times. Every time on your show, I speak with integrity, I speak with honesty, and I speak with facts. The bottom line is, because of all this false narrative, and you using the term disappearing people is
that's
disgusting.
What's happened. That happened to the group that was sent to El Salvador.
U.S. citizens get arrested every day. U.S. citizens.
Yeah, but I don't know what you want, lady. The liberals let in like 15 million illegals. Are we going to be able to deport every single one of them perfectly without any hiccups? You really think that's possible? If you don't want there to be problems with the deportation operation, don't let in 15 million illegals. What if he just said that to her? She'd be like, well, they should be allowed to stay. But I mean, he did kind of humble her, actually. I'm surprised. She was like, well, I'm sorry, sir. And then he's like, I speak with integrity. She used to fawn for, yeah. I mean, a lot of the liberals used to like Trump. Well, Trump was different himself.
Behind you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
About the Epstein case, would the White House support a professional handwriting expert review of the document released yesterday to prove that it's not the president's signature?
Sure, we would support that. And in fact, I have already seen many forensic analysts of signatures coming out. I believe it was the Daily Signal that published a piece with 3 separate signature analysts who said that this absolutely was not the president's authentic signature. And we have maintained that position all along. The president did not write this letter. He did not sign this letter. And that's why the president's external legal team is aggressively pursuing litigation against the Wall Street Journal, and they will continue to. Christian, behind you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
About the Epstein case, would the
I gotta see more of these clips.
Democrats have tried to argue that red states have higher crime rates while overlooking problems of high crime in blue cities. I'm wondering if
everyone agrees that Trump letter doesn't sound like Trump at all, but if you argue it, that it was his secretary who wrote it, it proves the letter is meaningless. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I think the entire thing, I just don't understand why liberals wouldn't bring this up earlier. I mean, the only reason this is being brought up is because Republicans have directed, I mean, the Republican citizens, so people, have been very angry, and they've forced the party into looking into this, and they've botched it. I mean, they've completely botched it.
The president would consider working with red state governors to fix high crime in blue cities like in Memphis, Tennessee?
So first of all, I want to get to the premise of your question, Reagan, which is being pushed by Democrats, that there is crime in red states. Of course, there is crime in all states, but the crime in these cities is all in cities that are run by Democrats. If you look at the list of the top 20 high crime cities in the United States, every single one, with the exception of one in Louisiana, is run by a Democrat. And these Democrats have supported the same policies that I spoke about at the beginning of this briefing, like cashless bail. If you look at a red state, Mississippi, but a Democrat-run city in that state, Jackson, in 2019, Jackson, Mississippi eliminated cash bail for virtually all misdemeanor cases. And while Jackson is not formally a sanctuary city, the state of Mississippi formally banned sanctuary cities, and this city has acted as a de facto sanctuary city for criminals and illegal aliens since 2017. Same thing, Birmingham, Alabama, a Democrat-run city in a red state. In 2017, the Birmingham City Council unanimously passed a resolution, quote, committing to establish sanctuary policies. So if you actually look at the facts from these Democrat-run cities, these are cities that are run by Democrats and by by members of the Democrat Party. These are blue cities, and they have all supported these disastrous policies which allow repeated career criminals back onto the streets to further commit acts of violence. And so to answer your question, yes, the president wants to work with anyone across this country who wants to end these horrible policies and to bring law and order to our streets. And I think that is proven by his tremendous cooperation with the mayor of Washington, D.C. and our nation's capital.
Benny boy. Dude, what are you talking about? You're saying Trump's, you watch, like, you're obsessed with Trump and his theater? Dude, you're obsessed with Trump. You're talking about, like, Trump going to theater plays and saying this is an obsession. Trump went to theater plays in the early 2000s. His favorite is Phantom of the Opera. What'd you do, a fucking bibliography on him? Juan, what's up, man? Your mom is a ginger, you're not, is no soul passed on. Well, you would have to look at your more so your kids might be ginger. It depends depends the girl that you have a child with. Your kids may be ginger, it's recessive. I don't know, it depends who your father's genes as well. There's a lot that it goes into, but normally it's every other. Unless it's like two gingers, then you're going to have probably a ginger kid. You got approved for your apartment, might be moving first week of October. Have you ever thought of having a standing desk and streaming while standing? No, I never really thought about that. I don't know how it would really work, honestly. I think 2 hours is a bit much for me to stand. I don't know. I mean, I think when I like move around, I am better in terms of free flowing thought when I move around, when I pace. I think a lot of people are like that. But in terms of just standing, I don't know if it would really help. They need to They need to accelerate the border wall construction. Otherwise, these deportations are for nothing. I don't know. I think if you have people patrolling the border, you're not going to deal. Even if there's no wall, you're not going to deal with. I mean, they need to finish it for sure during the term, but I don't think you're going to deal with any flow of illegals because they have people. They deployed a ton of people down there, ton of assets to secure the border. That's why there's been no real illegal crossings, or very little illegal crossings. Standing is good, keeps your blood flowing. You know, I agree. I think standing is definitely better than sitting in terms of like a health perspective in general, but Could you get a transportable screen? Do like a news broadcast angle for live streams with your X posts lined up on the screen? Yeah, I mean, I could probably improve it. I could probably improve the format, but it might take someone helping with the graphics or something. What age would you be ready to become a father? How many kids would you want to have? Well, I don't know about how many kids. I think late 20s is fine. Late 20s, early 30s for a man. I mean, you want to get established, you want to have enough money and everything like that. It's important for a man. You have a standing desk at your work, it's the best. You can set it to a different level, it goes up or down. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people have the standing desks and you don't. Yeah, I guess that's nice. You can lower it to be able to sit and stuff. You see Alan Lichtman exploited an interviewer on News Nation last week? I didn't know that dude was still doing interviews. Standing desk plus walking pad is a good solution. Dude, I don't know about that. I don't want to be I feel like that's a bit much. So you're getting an exercise as you try and do a live stream. That seems. I'm constantly walking like on a treadmill as you do the live stream. That's what a walking pad is basically. I just think no, standing would not really work for me for a live stream. I think it'd be weird as well for the viewers if you're just standing the entire time. Like, who stands during a live stream? I don't even know anyone. You had your son when you were 31. 31's a good age. You give more thought and passion about your college predictions, and most people on TV can't stand Feinbaum anymore. He adds no value to the show, even words. It's all clickbait now with those guys. He just says stuff that's inflammatory to try and garner a reaction from a certain fan base, basically, because they're all. I mean, their shows they have to do a certain amount of, viewership number, and if you say just normal stuff, you're not going to really get a crazy amount of views. You're not going to anger a fan base. So it's all a business with that. It's all a business with ESPN as well. And they're going to get more desperate as there's more options like YouTube, and people don't really watch TV anymore, so it's harder for those shows to work. How can you prove you're a ginger? I don't know, man. I mean, that's I'm not going to say send a photo of yourself. Scott Hatson on NFL Red Zone was the only person who live streams standing. I know, but even that's a different scenario where his entire body is shown. So if your entire body is shown, it would probably make more sense to be standing. Because they have this really wide angle with the Red Zone. TDS versus T Obsession, S Boomer Slap versus Liberal Slap. I mean, Boomer Slap it all goes hand in hand. It's all the same, but something happened to Vance. Did Vance have some type of interview, maybe? Yeah, so this was Vance's tweet earlier about the Democrats and violent crime, saying it's just systemic and no one is really responsible. I don't know, did he do an interview or something?
Here we are. We're standing right in the middle of D.C., which, as you know, about safe, and now it's got virtually no crime.
I've seen this like 3 times. Hold on, let me see this one.
Just kind of a recap of our remarks on gender and sexuality. Moving from last class. One thing we didn't get to in our last class.
I just have a question because I'm not entirely sure this is legal to be teaching. Because according to our president, there's only 2 genders, and he said that he would be freezing agencies' funding programs that promote gender ideology. And this also very much goes against not only myself, but a lot of people's religious beliefs. And so I am not going to participate in this because it's not legal, and I don't want to promote something that is against our president's laws as well as against my religious beliefs.
You certainly have the right to engage in things that you find right.
Mhm.
And you suggested something else.
Yes.
You are under a misconception that what I'm saying is
Well, can you explain to me how teaching us about gender identity and transgenderism and that there's more sexes than
gender isn't illegal.
Huh?
My gender isn't illegal.
Gender? What do you mean? Your gender is not illegal. According to President Trump's executive order, if you want me to read the paragraph in the order itself.
If you are uncomfortable in this class, we do have the right to leave.
Yes.
What we are doing is not illegal. And if you would like to make a claim that it is, you need to talk to the department head or the head of undergraduate.
Well, I've already been in contact with the president of A&M, and I actually have a meeting with him in person to show all of my documentation tomorrow, but...
We are also aware, and this is part of why there was an observer in class.
Yes.
I'm not convinced that your proposal will be effective in stopping me from teaching things that are biologically true, because I do have the legal and ethical authority, little professional.
Yeah, apparently this is a college course. I don't know, it's lacking context. What was she teaching exactly? Like gender expression? Lesson about transgenderism. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently it's at Texas A&M. If the Dems allowed all of those people, if the Dems let all those people in but gave them nothing, like no cash healthcare or free housing, would immigration be as bad as today? Well, there'd be a massive homeless problem if that happened. It actually would, I mean, it would, there would be a big issue, yes. It'd be a big issue either way. I don't know where the Vance clip is. You're going to have to tell me. You're going to have to walk me through it. Oh, this is it?
Happy to see you. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you.
Rubio. Hegseth, the hard ass. See, if they were actually based Palestinian supporters, they'd say Netanyahu is Hitler.
Thank you. We have have a safe city now.
Great job.
Can you imagine?
Look at Rubio.
We did it in 12
Rubio's
days,
like
and now it's
the.
almost a month. We have a safe city. So that's good. Enjoy yourself. You won't be mugged going home, okay? Have a good time, everybody.
Brandon B. Brandon B. Hey, thanks for that business card.
Yeah, I gave it to you.
Good
Thanks.
stuff. I like it. Thanks.
Where's your family?
They're back in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Say hello, bro.
See you.
Have a good time, everybody. Don't drink too much. Don't drink too much.
Free DC from the crime. Oh, Trump, the leader. And then Rubio just comes along. Rubio's like, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. Yeah, Trump's lost some weight. Tim Scott. Nah, I'm kidding.
Take some of the members of the cabinet out to dinner. You say, and here we are. We're standing right.
They sent in Vance and Hegseth first to get rid of the protesters.
In the middle of DC,
How'd they get rid of
know
them?
about,
They just escorted him out.
last year was a very unsafe place. Over the last 20 years, actually, it was very unsafe. And now it's got virtually no crime. Clearly crime-free. Way to be announced.
If you're being chased by a you might.
Well, when you look at the thing that happened in Charlotte yesterday with that wonderful, beautiful girl to get just hacked up like that by this horrible person, and you just see the ideology, and you don't even read too much about that one. You don't see it. That was just unbelievable. So you see what's happening. No, we're going to have law and order. You know, Washington D.C. is now one of the safest places in the world. Okay, it went from being top of the line, bad, unsafe, crime riddled, and nobody wanted to go out. Now everybody's going out to eat. It's a safe. You call it a safe haven. It's a safe city. And people are going out. Women are walking down the street alone. Nobody's afraid of anything. We got rid of over 1,500 criminals. Can you believe it? Really bad ones. We're talking about, career criminals. Well, when you look at the thing that happened in...
Like the stream, lazy bastards. You guys like the stream. Go ahead, like the stream. It helps, apparently.
I know this has gotten national attention. I know that there is a lot of thoughts about this case. There's policy decisions being made because of this case. But as someone who just talked to the family of the victim, I hope you'll remember her. Because this is hard for them. It's their case, and we will bring justice here. I want to add one thing that I hope the family won't mind me sharing. But after Irina's death, the embassy in Ukraine called and said, we'll help you bring her home. And her family said no. They said she loved America. We're going to bury her here. So I think we can give her an America to be proud of. As Mr. Barnacle said, something here is broken, and we're here to fix it.
Even more tragic, she chose to come to Charlotte to escape the violence of her war-torn home in Ukraine. Irina had settled into her community. She made friends. She immediately got a job. The first day she was allowed to work, and she got a work permit here, she got a job that very first day. She worked at a senior citizens center. She worked at a pizza place. She took care of animals in the neighborhood. She was building her young life. She had recently moved in with her partner. Her family let us know she graduated from college in Kyiv with a degree in art and restoration. We don't know the extent of what obstacles she faced in the Ukraine, other than we did learn to...
Yes, I did hear about what the killer said. Said he got a white girl. It was race motivated for sure.
Just a few moments ago, that she was living in a bomb shelter. Sadly, Everyone saw in surveillance video how tragic her life ended.
You had the Charlie Kirk clip? I don't...
We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just...
There is evidence of it. He just didn't see the aftermath of it.
It's pure race mongering, hate mongering. We don't know.
Why is everyone referred to as partner? That is a thing that happens now. They just refer to normally that was for like if you're gay, they refer to it, but now it's for either or, heterosexual as well. You're saying he was schizophrenic? Is that what you're saying? Is that what they're saying? What, DeCarlos Brown? That's the dude? Yeah, but why is he let out after 14 arrests? I mean, this is the problem. So tired of this weak milquetoast responses from our leaders. I mean, I think Trump has highlighted it. Trump has highlighted it. I mean, you know, it's something to... You have to be able to... Because normally 3-4 years ago, this would never be discussed. This would never be discussed.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people, really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists, and they've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers. In Charlotte, North Carolina, we saw the results of these policies when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life, with a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand. 24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors. 50 people were murdered in Chicago in recent weeks, with hundreds being shot. And it's time to stop this madness. The people of our country need to insist on protection, safety, law, and order. We have proven that it can be done because we did it right here in D.C., in District of Columbia, the capital.
Yeah, they lowercase the W in white. Uppercase the B in black.
I mean, it doesn't fit a narrative. This is my most charitable reading. The narrative that they have pushed forward in the last 10 years is that there is a relentless assault against black people on behalf of white people. And the data does not show that. You brilliantly pointed this out on your program yesterday. In fact, it's the exact opposite. White individuals are actually more likely to be attacked, especially even per capita, by black individuals in this country. The narrative that they have tried to force feed this nation post-2020 is that we are a systemically racist country to our core. We started to say the word racist more. We started to redesign our corporations. We started to teach things in our classrooms that were from the 1619 Project. And all of this has now been met with an appropriate backlash where people said, we're actually not nearly as racist as you say we are. In fact, we're the least racist country ever to exist in the history of the world. And in fact, if you want to actually talk about race-focused activity, why is it that you then ignore all the race-focused activity of black on white crime? Will, I want to live in a race-neutral country. I don't like talking about race all the time. But when I see it, and I see the left ignore it, and we try to make them live up to their own standard of rules that they force-fed us during the chaos of 2020, it really goes to show the destruction that this can lead to the entire nation. And the final thing I'll say is this, Will, is that this is more than just a semantic argument. This is more than just whether or not it's a race thing or not. Bad policing practices, consent decrees, opening up the prisons. As you say, $3.3 million is an outgrowth of a media narrative lie. So it's not just an innocent media narrative lie. Real policies get put into place when you don't challenge this nonsense in the public square.
That's it. That's very, very well said, Charlie. Race is a part of this story, not just because of the media's lies of omission. Race is a part of this story, not just because of the potential words from the suspect on the light rail in Charlotte. Race is a part of this story because of the policies implemented by a racial lie post-2020. Exactly right. And that's what we need to remember today. Right. These are a consequence of a lie that created policies. Charlie Kirk, well said, as always. Thank you.
It's just all so backwards. It's all so backwards. And the Democrats are falling on the sword. They're falling on this lunacy of DEI and diversity. And I mean, they promote these people. They're not even, they didn't pass a bar. They don't have an actual degree to be a judge, but they have to promote minorities to be judges who have less qualifications than the lawyers arguing the cases. They're going to decide. I mean, it's completely ass backwards. Will Kane, the new Tucker on Fox. Yeah, he was trying to, like, you know, he's obviously highlighting this. Tucker would have definitely brought this up a ton on Fox. But, I mean, yeah, the only reason Trump will say this mainly is because of Fox and stuff. So, Trump is still, he still loves the just the boomer news. That's what he watches, they say. They're not adapted to Western civilization. Well, think about the amount of immigrants that come in here, and they say if you want them to assimilate, you're racist for wanting immigrants from other countries from, you know, thousands and thousands of miles away. We want them to assimilate. We're racist for wanting them to assimilate. What are you talking about? Do we not have a country? And then this goes back to the entire argument of how the United States was founded. Is the Poland situation overblown? I think it is. I don't know, man. I mean, they're worried because Poland's a NATO country. But listen, we're not going to do Article 5. I don't think it's going to happen. Are white girls not safe in a Western society? No, I think the major cities, it's a problem. The major cities, it's a problem. It depends. It depends where they're frequenting. Should immigrants assimilate or should they participate? Well, there should be an immigration ban is what there should be. And then we can move from there. There should be a complete pause on immigration. This is what many Republicans are calling for. Stop what you are doing right now and watch Mark Levin. Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame boomer level. We need to see it. Trump needs to have a podcast with Mark Levin. No third world immigrate. Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean, the issue is if you restrict it to Europe, look at the European countries now. They've changed a bit as well. So I mean, I do you want to come out and say it, or just ban Middle East immigration? Well, I think that's more of a European. They get a lot of Middle Eastern immigration. We get a lot of Latin America, Mexican, South American. Yeah, that's a tough question. I'm not gonna. The fake, yeah. If there's listen, this is what I'll say with the spamming, and I get it. You're trying to be funny. It's a fake account, whatever about the cat. But after like 10 of them, dude, if you do it again, there's gonna have to be. I mean, we're not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna read this over and over again. So I understand you seem to be a fan, but if it's the same thing over and over again after 10 times, then I'm gonna have to do something because I'm sick of reading the same exact thing 10 times over. To optimize our economy, some foreigners should be let in. Well, that's a bullshit argument. No. So you're taking GDP over culture. So we just have a disagreement. But I mean, the 1924 Immigration Act would be. I think that would be a good area. That would be fair, I would say. The issue is that immigrants don't assimilate. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about. Multiculturalism is a farce, right? It doesn't. It's not realistic. It's different cultures live different ways. Russia striking Poland. I don't believe that's what happened. Unless it just happened. There were drones in the Polish airspace. That's what I know. GDP over culture makes perfect sense. Good answer. GDP over culture gets you these deaths, and no, it's not. That's not. There's ways to live to where like the whole idea that we need all these immigrants for us to survive. In terms of our economics, it's such bullshit. It really is. Yeah, I'm sure we would have. I mean, we restricted immigration significantly until 1965. Significantly, we're the most powerful country on earth. Everything's going to be automation. A lot of the jobs are going to be automation, anyways. The amount of jobs the job pool is going to shrink even more. You got to update the situation. It's all types of shit going on right now. What, on Poland? I mean, is it a developing situation? Is it like a story on New York Times? There was an Austrian guy. Huh. I think he died in Berlin. I don't know. AI is going to destroy the job of anyone who types for a living and isn't a creator. Well, I mean, that means I'm safe. They can't really replace the YouTubers. It's not something that's replaceable. It's more of a being a YouTuber or being a content creator. It's more of a creative personality, uniqueness, I guess. Things like that. Poland is trying to invoke Article 5 as we speak. Dude, come on. Over what? You gotta be trolling. Thoughts on 6-7 coin, brain runs, but yeah, I know the TikTok narrative. It's just because the numbers 6 and 7 come up a lot in terms of like scaling 1 through 10. I think that's why. So a bunch of kids are like, oh, I mean, it's just I don't know. Yeah, it's brain rot. Trump is hosting a dinner at the Rose Garden Club tomorrow night. Yeah, I mean, they got the patio now, so they're going to use it. Ha! Why is the default evil the failed painter? Well, history is very complicated. It's a lot more complicated than the simplistic view a lot of normies have on it. Twitter Russian poll. Yeah, I mean, I can go to it, but the thing is with this, the search function is really weird. It doesn't even, it shows posts from like 5 days ago. Oh my goodness, dude. If I see this one more time, the pizza situation means it's World War III. Oh, man. Daniel, thank you. Do you ever wish you were black? No. No, I'm very happy. Very happy with my ethnicity. Do you use Telegram for news at all? Yeah, Telegram can be useful for news. I actually don't use it a ton, but I know there's a lot of news channels with Telegram, specifically Middle Eastern and Asian news channels. They're talking about U.S. Fighter jets being deployed. Poland has PTSD from World War II, invaded on the east and west. Well, I mean, I can understand if they're angry about this. You can understand they're angry, right? But let's not overreact here. Whenever you have time, we need to talk about the Discord server. Got some info on some things. Yeah, that's fine. Well, what happened, man? I messaged you back, but it was a lot later. I messaged you back today, I think. The Discord guys, join the Discord server. Guys, you should join the Discord server. We actually gotta get new members. And this things that is just like the same chain. What did you miss? I don't know. Poland is trying to. They want Article 5. I think it's a false alarm. Where's the Discord link? The Discord link is in the community posts. There's the Discord link right there. Nick Fuentes charges $100 a month to be in a group chat with him. Yeah, I know. I saw he rolled that out. He's making a fuck ton, I'm sure, off of that. Need 13 to get to 200 likes. Guys, let's get to 200 likes. Guys, can I get hype points? Can I get hype points, please? Should I start demanding hype points in my videos? I need hype points. Fuentes is fucking terrifying. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. We don't want 1,000 viewers or more in the stream. Yeah, you would. How would I be able to respond to your attention-seeking posts if there's 1,000 viewers? You're right. Heard about Carlson about 9/11. I didn't. I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch it right now. So I'll see if what he's saying is accurate, but. $199 likes. That's good. That's good. We got more people to like it. Yeah, it is almost the anniversary of 9/11. $205. Yeah, there was more traffic tonight. You know, that might be, but it might have been why the stream went down. I don't know though. I feel like that's ridiculous. YouTube censors Goy. Really? I doubt that. That's crazy. What, a no donation? $25. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for the stream. I'm gonna end it there. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Poland. This search function is terrible. I'm actually gonna look at this really quickly. U.S. invade Venezuela. It doesn't. They're not gonna invade Venezuela. What does that even mean? They're gonna invade Venezuela to take it over? Come on. The weather's too hot now. No, it's too hot. It's getting too hot now. Now, time out. Time the fuck out. Now it's back into the 80s. We were into the 60s and the highs were 60s. Now it's into the 80s again. The highs were into the 80s. Gold price to do a VIP session is 4,000. Now that sounded weird. The ultra gold price. There would be the silver, gold, and then the ginger. The ginger is the ultra rare status. Yeah, guys, go ahead and join the Discord. The link's there. I will see you guys later.